What's up, guys? Luke back again for our second video of the channel. This video is going to be showing my monthly contributions to all my investing accounts. I want this to be like a reoccurring video series on this channel where I just give updates on my contributions and where I'm at for like my net worth and all those things. I'm not gonna talk about the totals in this video. I just want to share how much I contributed to each account. I want to do another video showing each of my accounts. So this one's just gonna be what I contributed. But before we begin, I want to show off and give you guys the quote of the day. One of my friends told me this one today. I want this to be kind of like a thing in each video. This one says, "The soldier that waits for the perfect shot dies with an empty mag." Full mag. Dies with a full mag. Just want you guys to think about that, you know. There's never a perfect time to do things in life. I subscribe to that philosophy. And sometimes you just gotta start shooting. So when my buddy told me that one today, I was like, I gotta share that with the world. But I'll just let you guys sit with that. But let's jump into this video. So for the month of April in 2026, the first account I contributed to was my brokerage account, my Robinhood. Every month I automatically put $300 in no matter what. I have that on a reoccurring, and then depending on how much I get paid and just other expenses, I'll contribute more. So for the month of April, I contributed $600 to my Robinhood, which is pretty good. Usually I might get like 4 or 5, but I really, put on the afterburners for April, and we got to 600. I usually just buy whatever to me seems at a good deal, good value. Sometimes I don't usually deploy it all at once. I kind of just chip into stocks here and there, but usually by the end of the month, the money's gone, and it's in investments. But yeah, $600 for our Robinhood. Moving on to the next account we contributed money to is my Roth IRA. And talking about my Roth IRA, it's the newest account I have. I am super late to the Roth IRA game. For the longest time, I was so focused on building my brokerage account because I was like, oh, Roth IRA, that's for like retirement. I want money like I can use sooner. So the Roth IRA, I had it on the back burner for so long, but I knew I needed to open one. And like a few months ago, I just opened one. And yeah, we're a little late to the game at 25. I think I opened it like right before I turned 25. So it's in like two, 3 months. And I'm really not even contributing that much to it, but I have it open. And for the month of April, I contributed $100. I'll tell you what I put in my Roth IRA in another video, but it's pretty basic, they're ETFs. Moving on from the Roth. The next contribution that I put, it's kind of like a contribution. It's gonna be my dividend income in the brokerage. And for the dividends in April, I received $83.37, which is actually really good for a month. It's one of like the higher months. My average is probably like 70 something. 83 is like one of the top months. But yeah, it was a pretty good month. I'm gonna talk about my dividends in another video, like which stocks paid me what in another video. So I'll save that for another time. But yeah, $83.37. Also, I'm gonna try to like up the production value for these videos. Put a little like graphics on the screen, like right here probably. Yeah, right here. It's probably gonna say like $83.37. But yeah, anyways, the next contribution that I had for this month, if you can call it contribution or investment, is gonna be from my Apple Card cash back. I have an Apple Card, and whatever cash back I have goes directly to my high yield savings account. So I kind of consider it like an investment. And for the month of April, I received $16.27, which is a pretty good. I usually probably get anywhere from like 15 to like 30 bucks, depending on how much I use that card. The Apple Card's nothing crazy. It's just a cashback card. There's no annual fee, which is cool. And you get like 2% on everything you use Apple Pay for. It's not the greatest card, but it's not like the worst card. I'm not really into travel points cards right now. Maybe one day, but for now, I just use the Apple Card. It's nothing fancy. But yeah, that $16 goes straight into my high yield savings account. And speaking of the high yield savings account, that's our next investment. We contributed exactly $100 to the high yield savings account. Put it right there. I used to contribute more, and my high yield savings account is actually definitely the account I have the most amount of money in, just because I think that's kind of like my house fund and also like my emergency fund. I just have a lot of cash in there. It's a Apple savings account tied to the Apple Card. I started off the month at 3.65% interest, and then I think like towards the end, Apple lowered it, or Goldman Sachs lowered it to 3.5%, which kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, I contribute $100 from my paycheck to the savings account, and sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less, since I'm kind of focusing on my brokerage and like my Roth IRA. The high yield savings account contributions have decreased in recent months. But moving on to the next investment I'm gonna consider is the interest I got from that high yield savings account, which is gonna be $101.56. So I think that's up like 3.65% interest. Yeah, it's gonna be at 3.65% interest. So I'm not gonna say the totals in this video for any of the accounts, but you can do the math if you really wanted to figure out roughly how much I have in there. But yeah, getting $101 in interest is actually pretty crazy. I think this is the first month I've broken $100. And I'll probably it's probably gonna stay above $100 until they lower the interest even more. But getting $101 in free money is totally sick. Yeah, I highly recommend high yield savings accounts over just a regular savings account. Fun fact, one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my entire life financially was not having a high yield savings account for like 3 years, and I had a giant lump sum of money in my checking account, and I probably missed out on a couple $1,000s of free money. So yeah, the high yield savings account's kind of new in my life. For the longest time, I had way too much money in my checking account, but I recently moved most of it out. But yeah, high yield savings account interest, $101.56. So those 6 contributions are gonna be everything I put for the month of April. So the total for the month of April is gonna be $1,001.20, which I think is probably one of the first months I've ever cracked $1,000 for contributions, which is pretty awesome. I think in the past, I was probably only doing like $400 or $500, and most of it was going to my brokerage. But you know, I'm trying to get some more streams of income, dividends, interest from your savings account, appreciation from the brokerage account. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good place with my contributions. I'm gonna try to keep the gas on, but there's no guarantees. I'm probably gonna have to cut my hours back at my job for reasons I'll disclose later. So some of my contributions might go down, but for the month of April, we did pretty good. I'm happy. But yeah, $1,001.20 for April. I'm gonna wrap up the video there, guys. That is everything. If you watched this far, thank you. Stay tuned for more. There's definitely gonna be more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.